Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Maria. Today we're making a beehive and some wreaths. So I got these wire wreaths from the dollar store. It's the beehive and then it's the bee. So I had some, this is like a trifold. But I wanted to use the cardboard instead of using the poster board or the foam board. You can use either or. This was my preference. You can even use fabric to go with this, however you want to do it. But I wanted to have a background. So depending on what the type of background that you want, if you feel like painting, you want to get a little bit more crafty, or if you just want to put fabric on it, then that's just fine. Putting fabric on the back will probably be a little easier, but I just wanted to do something different as always. Um, so I traced these onto the cardboard, the trifold, and then I cut them out. So I want to paint the bee black and yellow, so I grabbed my painter's tape and I started to tape off the spots that I didn't want to be yellow. This is the spots that I'm going to be black because I'm painting the yellow first. So I started taping off what I was, what areas I didn't want to paint, and then I start to add my yellow. So I did my yellow paint, but I did 2 layers because it was still kind of light and it wasn't really like, I don't know, like it painted okay, but you could still see like some of the white through. So I did 2 layers of the yellow paint, and then that's kind of like why I got the black, because I mean the white, because if I would have gotten the black, I probably would have had to do 3 or 4. Um, but not getting the black one, of course I had to add the black paint. So I added the black paint on here, the head, and then I did the lines. I didn't do the wings, um, because I end up cutting the inner part of the wings off because I want to add some parchment paper onto it. Now they're still white, of course, but I do end up painting them in black. So, when I put the parchment paper on there, it's already black. So the wire is red. So I wanted the wire to be black. So what I did was I painted the bee in black. Listen, I do things differently. I don't know, because I don't want to do the same thing as other people. A lot of crafters do the same. I don't mind if you copy from me, do something. I don't know. I try to make things a little bit easier, a little different. But painting this did not last too long. Towards the ending, the paint, you can't really see it on the camera. You can only see when you get closer, the paint did start to come off a little bit. But this is best to spray paint. Like the wire is a lot better to spray paint. I did have black spray paint, but I wanted to go with the paint. Um, but yeah, I ended up using the paint instead of the spray paint. But anyway, word of advice: use the spray paint, not paints. Then I wrapped the red wings with the black yarn that I had. This actually turned out really cute, making them like that, because then it came a little thicker. So I put that to the side, and then I bring back the cardboard that's already painted, and then I trace the parchment paper to cut out the wings because that's gonna go in the middle. So I do trace around it, um, because I wanted to make sure that it's enough to glue on top of that. So I put some Mod Podge on here. The parchment paper is gonna go on top of this, and then I just, like I lay it on top, and I do end up putting some on the top just to, like, I guess you can still like see a little bit, but I they cut it a little bit bigger, so I do go back and cut the edges just a little bit more. I don't show that on the video. Um, but once I was done with that and I put this one on top, I should have left it where it was because I had it right in the right spot, but I took it completely off and put it to the side, and I put the glue on here. I should have put the glue on slowly because when I put it back on, it was a little off. So I was like, ugh, and the glue dried pretty fast, so I was not happy with it. I had to like move it in place and then just like use my little clamps just to hold it in place while it just completely dried. Um, then I made my bow and I added a flower and some eucalyptus just to finish that off. I do tie the bow onto the wire because there's like a gap there, so I do tie that on there. And then I add the eucalyptus and the flower on top. So after putting the bow on here, I put the flowers on. Now you tell me in the comments below what you think. I think it looked cute with just the one flower and the eucalyptus, but then I ended up adding the other extra in the bottom. Now I didn't not glue these in place. So let me know what you guys think. Does it look better with the one flower and the one eucalyptus, or does it look better with the one on top and the bottom? Um, but I think this ended up turning out really cute regardless. With either or. It's just, I don't know. I thought it looked better with just the one on top and not the bottom. But let me know in the comments below which one you like best. Okay, for our next one, we're doing the beehive. So the beehive, I am painting in black. This is the cardboard that I cut out. So this beehive I don't have to paint because it's already yellow. So it worked out great. um, but once I was done painting the background in black, I ended up adding some yellow. But I used a paper towel to like dab it in place. You can use a sponge, you can use like a rag or whatever you want to use. I ended up using the paper towel because, you know, like I said, I like to do things a little bit different. So that's what I ended up doing there. So here I I grabbed the wire and I started to put it on top. Here's what I did. After I painted it, I let it dry for a little bit and it was a little bit too long because went to go watch a movie with my son and eat dinner and hang out for a bit and I left it drying, you know what I mean? But that made the cardboard kind of get a curve. You know, when you paint something, it, you know, catches a curve. So that's exactly what that did. So now I'm holding my paint, like I put my paint on top, and I'm using some of my clips, um, the clamps to just hold it in place while I put the glue in because it just was not working. So I have a large heat press that has like the huge clamp that it clamps down. So I put that in between there and I held it in place overnight for it to go flat. And it worked. It actually did work. So that's what I did with this one because you know, it's the best, you know, it was the best way to make it flat because I could have just put a whole bunch of heavy stuff on it, but I didn't do that. But the heat press, you know, of course it's off. Um, but I left it in there overnight so it can get back to its shape. Um, but moving forward, I wanted to do like the opening for it. So I grabbed some twine instead of rope. So I grabbed some twine and I started to wrap it around. And I just put the glue around it and then I wrapped twine around and I put a little bit more glue and then wrap it around until it got as big as I wanted it. So once I got it this big, I would say it's about 2 inches. Um, I grabbed my black paint and I started painting over it. What I didn't do was put like another piece of twine over it, which I should have, but I didn't. But I got these bees. I got this real big one. I figured this could be the queen, and then I have these little small ones that I added on here because I don't know. I thought it would look cute. Now I got these from Temu. So Temu has a lot of nice crafty things that you can use for like any of your crafts. Um, Measurements you have to like maybe look up or whatever, but I don't know. I kind of like the bees, and I was like, oh, I want to make something with this. So that's where the idea came from to make. I also got this from Temu. I love this bow maker because you know I have a hard time making some bows. But I figured this would work, and I've seen a lot of people use these. The only thing is this one is a small one, which is fine with me because I have small hands. But I didn't want to get the big one that's more expensive. I didn't want to get that one because I wanted to get the hang of making it, like using something for it. So I like to practice with small things first and then I get me like a better one. But this is pretty easy to use. So I kind of liked how it came out. This is pretty good for like the smaller bows. I would definitely get me the bigger one from Amazon to make like the bigger bows. But this was pretty good for the wreaths that I was making. I did use this. I also used this one for to make the other bow that I just put on the bee. So I used some twine to tie it in place, made a knot, cut the tails, and then I put it in place. Now I did what I did with the bow, I ran it through the wire so it can hold in place. No, I'm sorry, not this one. I ran the other one through the wire, but this one I glued in place. I'm sorry. I glued this one in place. I did puff up the bow once it was all done, and I puffed it up really cute, and then I put it in place. But this was really cute. At the ends, like after I was done recording, I added like a twine in the back of both of them just so I can hang them on the door. But that's how this one turned out. On to the next one. Okay, so here we're making a beehive. So this is a wood round from the dollar store. I got my little sander that I also got from Temu, and I started to do the edges. This was actually perfect because if I was to use my big one, it would have been a little harder to do. But this was perfect to use to do the round, like the ending of this. But once I was done sanding that down, I grabbed my Waverly antique wax and I put some on here. And then these knobs that I had, you can get these knobs from like Walmart or Home Depot. This was like a pack of 10 that I got from Temu, so I'm just using them. Then I used my damp cloth and then I started to smear the paint all over just to give it like that wood look. Or like the stain wood. But yeah, I ended up gluing these because this was like the feet to lift it up. But like I said, you could use anything. You can even use the snowman, flip them upside down and put them on as the feet of the stand. But once I was done doing everything else with the piece of wood, I grabbed my jute rope, and you can get this rope from Amazon, but I got this one from Temu as well. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff from Temu. But anyway, I started wrapping it around, and I didn't make this that big, but I did, like, I could have made it bigger, but it was the first time that I was making this, and I was just going, and like I think around here I started to curve in a little bit more just to start going to the smaller side, to the top, to close it up. So this is the beehive. I added some sunflowers on the top. These sunflowers I got from the dollar store. Um, and I grabbed my black paint, made a little opening for it. Did not put any rope around this either. I easily could have, but I didn't. And then I added my small bees around the opening. I think that's actually turned out really, really cute. I could have, like I said, I could have made this a lot bigger. But I didn't. I just, it was cute the way it came out. It's small, but it's cute. But after I was done, I felt like I needed something extra. So I grabbed these little leaves and I started to wrap it around the wood. And I think this just brought it out a lot more because in the end it turned out really, really pretty. But if you stayed to the end of this video, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. My next video will be on bees as well, but I'm doing some door signs. And I'm doing a bee wood round, so you can see I haven't made wood rounds in a while. And I've never posted a video with the wood rounds. But then you'll see me doing that one, and the bee actually, I mean, I guess caught my attention, but I thought it would be cute to make a wood round with the bees. But you'll see how that comes out next week, so stay tuned to Tuesday's video so you can see how that wood round turns out, as well as another wreath that I'm making along with it. Thanks for watching. Bye!